So we are going to cover all these topics today. For example, we'll see what is a class, what are the configurations, because this was we started yesterday, but we need to refine it more in detail. So we have pegged it again. After this one, we will go through what is a work list, what is a work basket, and how to configure it. And then we will see what are the data models. And then we'll try to add some fields into our application forms. Then we are going to discuss about the routing and what are the different kinds of approval provided in Pega. So this is our today's agenda. Okay, so quickly we can jump on to our class configuration. All right. I just want to check with you once if you remember that first day we discussed about whenever we build an application, there is a Pega based product. Over that, there is the organization layer. Over that, we have application layer. And over that, we have implementations. Right? I hope
Yes,
you
I
remember
remember.
this part.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, cool. So what I did is this time I divided the same concept in our application. So if you see, our application is also based out of Pega application. So we are using one base layer. That is the Pega base class. And Pega's base class usually we notify or we write it down using this character length @base class. On the base class, we are building an organization that is care, right? So over that care, we are building an application known as life care. And over life care, we are building a case type, which is insurance. But at the same time, I can build different case type also at the same level. Suppose for now, life care is only starting the business in insurance, but they want automation in claims also. So they will create some automatic process for claims. They might want to introduce one more, one, three, two, any number of case types they can create on this application. So how the class structure will become? So Pega base class will always be our, you can say the base product, which is @base class. Over
So
that, we have
one
organized
minute, where is the implementation layer?
implementation layer is this one only, application. For example, okay, let me see if I have the
So
data.
we have organization,
Yes,
implementation, and
yes, just a sec. Let me see if I have the diagram with me. So this is our @base class. This is our care. We are not using any division layer. We are not using any framework layer. Okay. Because if you see division, we created for some particular purpose. Like if you want
okay,
to create application like state specific, you want to create one application, let's say one insurance application for USA, one application for India, one application for Australia. But we are not doing anything like that. So there is no division layer.
okay.
Framework we
So
use.
what we're missing is the division and all the framework layer, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So these
Okay,
things are not
okay.
there. So whatever we are building, that is the implementation layer.
What is throwing me off is
Mhm.
it feels like the tree is upside down. Normally org chart it's always
Yes,
from organization going down, but this one feels like we're from going
yes, we
from
are
a
going
larger
up.
scope to a smaller scope.
Yes, we are going up.
Okay.
For example, and we'll also see why it is like this. But I'll show you this part once. So suppose I will create one new organization, okay? A new application itself. Build it from scratch. Traditional UI, advanced configuration. So you see, this framework implement this. If I set this framework, because if you remember, to create our
Yeah.
organization, we have selected implementation.
Yeah.
So that's why we have implementation layer. But if I will select
Okay.
framework, then only framework layer, this framework layer will come. You're able to get it, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I get it.
Because I haven't selected framework, so this framework layer is not there, and I have not selected any division also. Where can we select division? Suppose I select framework. Okay, I'll select framework. I will select everything. Test. So application is there. So you see now the structure is like test, then FW. FW signifies the framework class. Then the structure will become different. Then structure will be like care, FW, life care. Because FW will come. Because after organization, we will have one.
Framework or
Yes.
division. Okay.
Yes. So if you see, I select the implementation here. Okay. Now you see we
Yeah.
have an option for generate division layer. For our example,
Oh,
division layer is not there. So if I select this
okay.
one, you will get one more option for division. Let's say this one. Then the structure will become different.
Yeah.
Then division is introduced between organization and application.
Okay.
So that's why if you see in our application, whole layer is not there. This division and framework layer is not there.
So if we have framework and division, which
Mhm.
one in hierarchy of things, are they side by side or does anyone
Yes.
take precedence?
No, no, no. You see, all these things are exist at same level, right? So that
Okay.
means they are side by side.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. All right. This part we are good. So let's
Yeah, we'll get it.
go back to this part. So now we understand like how the class structures are getting formed. So let's say below is the base class. So this base class contain the rules which Pega provides us. Okay, like all the source code which Pega used to build this platform, all the source code exists in at the rate base class. So if we want to reuse anything, we have to reuse it through this class only. I mean, like suppose if there is a calculator, okay, which is designed by Pega, like a basic calculator, and that will be available at the rate base class. And suppose you want to reuse that and then you want to extend it more. So what you can do? You can save as the same calculator base code from base class and you can save it in your insurance class. And then you can modify it. You can make it more enhanced, more better UI, better functionality in insurance class. Okay. In the
Okay.
next part, we will see how the rules are getting called and what is the series of the execution. What is, I mean, what at which level we start, at which level we end. Okay. So till now we got it. The class structure will be like at the end we have the base class. Above that we have a care which is care dash. Above that we have life care. So it will be like care dash life care app. This is our application name. So that's why I'm adding app. And then work. Work will always be there. Wherever application will come, work will be there. Then we have the case types. So for now we have only insurance. So after work we have insurance. Suppose if tomorrow we will add one more case type claims, then it will be like I'll add one more here. Then it will be like this. And we can add n number of case types at this level. Now, yesterday I also informed you about the inheritance. Like suppose if we want to inherit some rules, because that's what classes are used for. Rather than creating new things like the same thing again and again, we can reuse some stuff. So for that purpose, Pega provides us two types of inheritance, that is a pattern inheritance and direct inheritance. Now pattern inheritance, you can see from here. Suppose, okay, I'll take this example now. So you created one view or so-called section in Pega with the name is basic details. Now, inside the basic details, you have provided one field called first name. Now same section or same view you have created in this class. Now, because the name is same and this time field is only name, first is not there. And again, you have created same view, same section in care dash. Section name is still same, This time field name is last name. And the base class, it does not exist because it's a custom section. Pega will not provide us. And if we create a case, then what do you think which one will come out of these three?
Which one we what?
So what I'm trying to say is we have created a
Yeah.
section or a view. You have
Okay.
seen view, right? Yesterday we saw view in which two fields were there. Whenever we create a case, there is a view.
Yeah.
So suppose in this insurance class, we created a view with the name basic details, and that view contain only one field, first name. Now, same view we created in this class also, in the application class. And here, first name is modified to name. Now, same thing is again created in the organization level. But this time, the name is changed to last name. Now, when we call it into the case, what will happen? That only this one will come. These things will not come. Why? Because the top
It's been
priority is,
modified over and over.
yes, this is modified. But if you see the priority wise, the case type has the highest priority.
Yeah.
Then application has the highest priority. Then if we have the framework, then framework has the highest priority. Then organization has the highest priority, and then we have the base class. So for example, if same rule exists at multiple layers, then whichever has the highest priority, if that particular level the rule exists, then it will execute that one. Otherwise, it will check for the below version. For example,
Okay.
so
Yeah,
when
that
we
makes
created,
sense.
yes, so when we created the case, so Pega first will see if this rule exists in insurance class or not. If yes, Pega will show this one. So end user will see this thing. Okay, good.
Okay.
Now,
So is this
sub
almost similar to the case of assigning values to variables,
come again.
or it's different? Is this any way similar to assigning values to variable? So let's say we write a function and we give it a default value, but
Uh-huh.
somewhere in that
Yes.
function, in
Yes.
that
Yes.
program, we assign a new value. When you run it,
Correct.
since there is a new value, it's going to use that. Unless there
Exactly.
is nothing, then it takes the default.
Exactly. So
Okay.
from where the default value is coming? Default is coming from that default class, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. So same thing is there. So suppose
Okay.
when I created the case, because Pega found that basic detail exists at insurance class, it already there. So it will not
Yeah,
execute these things.
true.
But suppose if I deleted this one, if this one is deleted and I called this section in case, then Pega will come to insurance class. It will try to find basic detail and Pega will not able to find it. Then it will go below. As per pattern
Oh, okay.
inheritance, it will come down to life care. Then it will see, okay, if basic detail exists or life care or not. If yes, then it will show this one. Then end user will see name instead of first name.
Makes sense.
So this is the hierarchy Pega follows from top to bottom. Pega always check from case type, application, framework, divisions, then organization, and then base class. So this is the inheritance path or the process of rule calling. Pattern as in this pattern, work, life care app, care app. So this is a pattern, right? This is one, this is another one, this is third one, this is fourth one. So this is a pattern. And direct means, suppose I direct manually. I manually point this class to point to base class. I don't want to check these things. Okay. I want to skip this. I want to skip this. I directly want to check if rule does not exist in this class, then directly check for base class. Then that is a direct inheritance because manually I am giving that class name. So that kind of inheritance, we can call it as the direct inheritance. In pattern, we have to follow this structure one by one. Like first is the case type, then application, then framework, organization, and base layer. We have to follow this hierarchy. But in direct, we have to manually give this class. And I'll show you. Where is the portal? Yeah, now we can cancel this one. You see, care, life care, app, work. Correct? This is the same thing we are checking. Care, life care, app, work. Inside work, we have insurance. But in tomorrow, we will add claims. Then it will come inside this same, inside work. It will be claims also.
Okay.
So this is like this. This is our one class. Now, the class definition rule you always find in sysadmin in class. Let's open this one. You see, class inheritance, find by name first. That means pattern. So suppose if rule does not exist, then what will happen? First, it will try to check in this whole class if it exists or not. If no, then it will check in this till work, which is application as per this one. If this will not exist, the framework is not there, then it will check in care, life care, app. If here also it doesn't exist, then it will check in care. And it also here it does not exist, then it will go for the base class. And direct, you see, parent class direct. That means manually they are passing this thing. So they have provided this one. But if required, I can modify also. I can give directly base class. You see, base class is there. Now, what does this signifies? That if rule will not come, then it will directly jump from this to this. Make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay. Any doubt till now in this part?
Now it's clear.
Okay, cool. Okay, this part we are good. Let's see one theory topic once and then we go to the application to create some stuff. All right. So we are going to discuss about work list and work basket. Now, work list, I mean, it's very simple to understand. Basically, it's a pool of tasks, but that pool is assigned to a particular individual. For example, you have your own work list. I have my own work list. Your pending task you will find in your work list. My pending task I'll find in my work list. Right? So suppose insurance. Okay, I'll take the example, right? So insurance we're checking. All right. So suppose in insurance, when an end user creates an application, those things are routed to the credit check team for the credit check. Now, suppose if there is only one individual in that credit check team, then we can route all the cases to their work list because it's a single person. So everything we can route it to his work list. So whenever he will log in, he can go to his work list. He can see how many assignments are there that he need to complete. He can pick one of them and start working on it. But suppose it's a very big organization, millions of people are there. Then what will happen? We need a separate team for credit check because now there is not a single individual. It's a team of credit check and thousands of people are working in that credit check team. So this time we will create a work basket. So work basket we can also call it as a work queue in which it is a queue or a basket which contain all the pending assignments or the open assignment that anyone who belongs to that team can pick. So for example, if you and me both are from the credit check team, right? And there is a credit check work basket. So whenever a user create a case and submit, the task will be routed to the work basket. And because you and me both points to that work basket, we can access any case from that particular basket and we can start working on it. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. And the work list, Pega provides us a class that is assigned work list. And for work basket, Pega provides us data admin work basket. So these are the certain classes which you have to remember. You have to learn basically because these are things which will never change. For work list, it is always be assigned work list. These are default things again, part of the Pega product at the rate base class. And work basket is data admin work basket. Okay. So we have seen these two things, class and configuration, work list and work basket. Now we'll jump onto data model. Okay. Before jumping on data model, any other doubt?
No, no questions.
Okay, cool. Now, data model is kind of a very important topic for us because data model basically hold or store the data or whatever you see, right now we are creating first name, last name, middle name. We're talking about the credit check, how things will happen. That means we are involving a lot of data in the application, but what are we going to do with it? How we are going to save it? So that basically controlled by data models. Okay, so I can simply go to application and we can see what happened. Where is our case type? Is it deleted or what? Okay, so this is our case type. Now, if you remember that we have to add like personal detail fields because at the end user are going to enter those detail in the form. So from where it will come?
Yes.
It will come from the data model. You see above we have one tab, data model. Either I can create from here or you see we have one more tab here in the records, data.
Yeah.
I can click and right now it says no data object, but I can create my data object. So I'll create one from both. So you have an idea. So I click on this data object. So basically in data object, we are going to create properties. In Pega, we call it as a property. Everything is a property, like where the data will hold. So for example, data object name will be person. So where it will save it? In the implementation class. Okay. Implementation means it will be saved in our insurance class. Because suppose if I will save this in the organization class, it doesn't make sense, right? Because for claims, it might not be useful. If for a third party, it might not be useful. So whatever I'm creating, that will be for insurance only. So I'll keep it at the implementation class. Define source data. Now, next. So connection detail, where we are going to store it in the Pega. But suppose if there is any third party database link, maybe SQL, Oracle, so that option you will get here. But right now it's only Pega. How you want to create data model? You can manually create, or you can import an Excel sheet, or you can use even AI to suggest a data model. I'll create one manually. Okay, just taking a lot of time. Okay, so you see one data object is created with the name person. Okay, you know what, like maybe if you do you know like SQL?
Yeah.
So in SQL we have a primary key, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Primary, secondary, composite, foreign, and all of that.
Yes, correct. So basically, whenever you create a data object, we need a primary key. So if we don't give anything by ourselves, Pega will create this for us. For example, this GUID. So Pega is
Okay.
created this one as key. You see here, it is auto-generated and it's a read only. So whenever you add an instance or whenever you add any record, Pega will increment this one by any number. It's auto-generated, so we can't control it, but it will always be unique. It will help us to uniquely identify that particular set of record. Cool.
Okay.
All right. Now, so data object is created. Now we'll create some attribute or the properties inside person. So I'll go here and do add field. So we'll create some properties for person. For example, first name is required. It is a kind of a text. I'll keep it text. I'll submit and add another field name. Let's say this time I'll create last name. This is also text. Now address is required. Address is also text. Submit and add another. Now add email. Email is of type email. I yes, Pega will automatically picking these types also. Wow, very smart. So these are the types which Pega support. Text, single line, text paragraph, Boolean, which is like true or false, currency. Like if you want to deal with the money, like for different countries, euro, dollar, Indian rupee, all those. Date and time, date only, decimal values, email, which we are using for email, integer, percentage, phone, that is phone number, then pick list. It is like a drop down value where you have to select single from a lot of option, then time only, then URL, location like the Google Maps. If you want to store the location for any particular point, you can use this location property. Then prediction, and these things we will see tomorrow because these are quite important one. Then query, like SQL query you can form. So for now, let's keep it simple. Let's go to email. In the advance, if you see what is coming, ID is email. ID is the property identifier. Like how you will find that. You can find email through email. If you search email, right, then only you'll find this property. Description, I'm not giving anything. The maximum length. This is a calculated field read only. Suppose if you want a field which is automatically calculated. For example, we can ask user to enter the date of birth, but the years or the age I'll calculate automatically. So that particular thing we can use through this. We'll also see I can this will work. Submit and add another. Now I will add phone. So phone must be of phone.
So, okay. So most of
Yeah.
these are basically VACA, right? Assuming in regular database, because I'm looking
Yes.
at the line 256.
Yes. Yes. This is the default.
Okay.
If you want to increase, we can increase. If you want to reduce, we can reduce. But that is the maximum length that Pega is defaulting.
Okay.
Yes. Sometimes we have situations in which we have to increase these lengths and we have to reduce these length. So if you want to go beyond Pega, then custom we can write some SQL query. We can write some update commands. We can give update, table name, table column, and what is the size that we're going to give. And we can run that query because everything again is getting stored in table itself.
Okay.
It's 9 o'clock. So you see, all these things are came now. So inside person data object, we have these things. First name, last name, address, email, phone number. Okay, I'll add one more. Date of birth. Okay, date only. I'll add one more, which we will use to calculate the age. Age is submit. So we have these many fields in data model person. Okay, I'll save it once. Now I will go back. So you see one data object is coming. Data object is person, data pages. This will be our SSA code, so we'll not touch this one. Then person, it is system of record is Pega. If you have SQL Oracle, it might be that one. And if it is an external entity, then that will come. But currently it is within the Pega. Now add one more, that is for insurance. So let's see how Pega will suggest, like AI will suggest, right? I clicked insurance, I clicked on, okay, it is not showing me here. AI suggestion, implementation, now, next, manual. You see, again, Pega created one primary key that is PYGUID, which is auto-generated every time. I'll add fields now. So we need insurance type. It is going to be pick list because we can provide different type of options. So we have to display the drop down list, search box or radio button. I'll go with drop down list. Pick list option, local database. So let's keep it local. Let's add choices. Let's try to add with generate with AI. Let's see how Pega will add. How they are collaborating with ChatGPT. Okay. Auto insurance, health insurance, home insurance, life insurance, travel insurance. Wow. This is nice.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, AI is doing these kind of jobs for us. So this is good. All right. So they have added all the fields properly. I can submit and add another field. Let's say I'll add description. Then I think two fields are enough. I'll save it. So now we can see we have two data objects. And if you want to visualize also, suppose if multiple applications are there, then you can click on this view and it will show you the relationship of these data objects in application. So inside this insurance, we have two data object, person and insurance. Same thing you are reflecting here. Now let's go back to the case type and try to add this data model into our screen. So suppose first I'll go for personal detail. I click on personal detail. I click on configure view. So first name is already there, but I'll delete this one because I want to show you how we can reuse. So you see fields and views, two options are there. That means either I can reuse any existing view or I can reuse some fields which is there in data model. So click on fields. So inside field, if I come down, it is not showing my big file. Oh, description is there, first name is there, where is last name? Till first date is showing. Let me search. Person. Yes. Personal. Okay, it's a form. One second. One second. data model. First name, date of birth, email, age, address. Yes. It is showing. Okay. It's not picking those data models. Let me add first name. Will it show? Let's see. This. See, even if we try to create again with the same name, it says this instance already exists.
Already exists.
So that means it won't allow you to create multiple because first name we already created. But there is some issue. It is not giving me the option to workflow. Then let me go to DevStudio. Or let me log off and log in once. Let's see if it is still not coming. Then we have to create it from inside. Yep, still not showing. We have insurance. This is correct. Okay, anyways, let's not waste time here. I'll go to personal details, configure view. I'll add fields here. Okay, it will work the same way. So first
Okay.
name, then last name. I need to change the identified ones. Submit. Then we need address. Address I'll give as text paragraph. Submit. Phone number. This will be of type phone. Email. And age. Okay, so all these fields are added now. So you see here we have an option called optional and required read only and calculated read only. That means if I select it as required, then it will be a mandatory field. The end user won't be able to submit the screen without entering data in this particular property. Second is read only. That means user won't be able to edit the data. They just can read it. And the last one is calculated read only. That means it is an automated calculated field. So automatically data will come through a calculation in this field, which is always be read only. Okay, now I'll submit this. So we configured this view, and now let's see. Let's create one case and let's see how it will come. I'll save here. Save and run. Do you see the form is coming?
Yeah.
New insurance, first name. Let's I'll give Harsha. Harsha. Test. Phone number, you can give anything. Email abcd@efg. As of now, validations are not there, so you can enter
But
anything.
if you do not put the at, will it not screen at you?
I mean, as of now, it will accept anything. But
It
right now,
will, even if it's an email type.
yes, so it will not accept. So let it
Okay.
submit. You see, enter a valid email address.
Okay.
So this is a basic validation. It will not check whether this is the correct domain or not. It will
Yeah,
say,
yeah, I understand that. But at least the basic validation.
yes. So if
Okay.
I submit now, see now we're in insurance detail, but we have not configured any view for this one. So it is coming empty.
Okay.
We can advance, and in the credit check, again, there is no view. So it will come empty only. Yeah. Verify detail is empty. Approval is automated one. Let's get this one. Done. Let's go back to the case type. Let's add some fields for insurance. Configure view. Add field. One was insurance type. Pick list. Generate with AI. Drop down local. Submit, add another. Then one is description. Okay, so two fields I've added in the insurance detail. Let's submit. Save. Let's click on save and run, and let's see how it will come. So we got the same form. I have to keep the random details here. So in the new insurance, because we have added, so it will come in. Insurance type, we have to select auto insurance, health insurance, home insurance, life insurance. So let's say home insurance. Description, anything I can give, then submit. So two screens we have completed. Correct? Let's go back to the case type. And let's add some fields for the credit check. I'll come here, configure view. This time I'll see if I can reuse this one. So address, age, description, email, first name, last name, phone number, and I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So this thing we are using. Let's submit. Okay, let's make this read only for the credit check because we just want to read the data. I'll make everything as read only. Save. So now we have added views for personal detail, insurance, verify, and for approval, it is already there at the default one from the base class. Now let's run. So first name, let's fill this thing. Insurance type, auto insurance, submit. So you see, this time in verify detail under credit check, things are coming in the read only.
Yeah.
That means user cannot modify these things. They can, like the credit check member, can only see the data and take an action where they want to review it like further and proceed or not. So like that credit check is also done. Post credit check, the case will be routed for the approval. Approve or reject. I'll approve. I'll close the case. Let's go back to the case type. So this is a basic details about the data model, how to create, how to reuse in views. And you might be thinking, we have created this data model where exactly it is showing in the class. So because we created an implementation, so we have to go in this class, insurance, care life care app of insurance. You see this data model tab. If you expand, you will see property. If you expand, you see all these are created here. Pega is smartly calculating where exactly we have to store it. So all these things are coming here. Process basically container case type. So when we create a case type, it will be saved inside this process, inside this case type. This is the backend part. I mean, this is the front end. In the case lifecycle, you see like this in terms of steps, stages, and process. But if you want to see the backend part, then this is the version. This is the version. Process. Inside process, you have these stages. If you go to stages, it will give like collect detail is the initialization stage. Then we have two primary stage, credit check approval. Then we have an alternate stage, approval rejection. Statuses you can set here. Service level agreement also that we discussed on that day. You can set here the process, which is inside this one approval. Like if I open this approval here, that means I'm opening the process. It's a process. So if you want to open it from here, you have to open this approval process. It will open the same thing. So same thing is there. It's a backend part and that is a front end. That is easy to understand. But if you want to see how it is coming on the backend part, you can go to this particular process, case type and py default.
Okay.
Then inside process flow. So basically whatever the process is, right, those we also call as flow. Approval flow, collect details. So all these things are flows. Let me go back. So if I open this collect details, so I'm opening this process. So this process, we also call it as a flow. So that's why you see all these things here. Collect details. This one. Rejected. create form, approval flow. So these are flows. Flow action. Okay. Flow action basically shows you the UI, because till now, open process, or we can say open flow. This is the flow. Inside these things, we have this stage: personal detail, insurance detail. So somehow, whatever the view we are adding, that is coming to this particular assignment, right? So if you open this connector, you will see one flow action, personal detail. And if you open personal detail, what it contain? Basically, this is the backend part of whatever we are doing. It contain one section, personal detail. And if you open the section, section is nothing but the view. So this section will contain all the fields. You see, first name, last name. So this is the design that is coming over there. So suppose if you want to modify it, if you want to rename it, and if you want to change the layout also, you see this template is there, right? If I change here, so suppose I want to do, let's say which one, which design, let's say this one, two column. And if I save, okay, I can drag some fields here, add, I'll come here, email, I'll add. In views, you don't have too many options, because view, if you see, is a part of our app studio, and in app studio is for the business people, because they don't have much technical knowledge, so they can only add some fields. But if you want to modify the template, the design, the look and feel, then you have to come to the dev studio, and through the section rule you can modify this thing. So I'll save it and I'll show you how it come again. Launch portal, user portal. I'll go to this create insurance. You see, now it is coming like
Oh,
this, because I modified that in the section.
yeah.
So these changes you can only do in section rule. So if I want to summarize this particular part for you, then you can understand process, or we call as the flow, contain flow action, it contain section, UI, right? So basically there is a process. For example, I'll rename it as basic detail. And this is our form. So between the process and between the form, we have these two things, because of which you are seeing those fields. There is one flow action and there is one section. So whatever view you are modifying, for example, I'll go to the portal again. So when you click on this view, personal details. So when you are modifying this thing in the front end, in the back end, Pega is modifying the section for you. Because App Studio is for the low code developers, or mainly for the business people. So that's why Pega is not showing all those complexity to you. But at the back end, you are modifying the section only. And in the Dev Studio, if you want to open the section directly, then you can go to this class, then user interface, and then section, and then personal details. See, we have three sections, right? Why three sections we have? One for personal detail, one for insurance detail, and one more we have created for verified detail. So if you want to see the names also, you see personal detail, insurance detail, and verified detail. These are the views only, but this is the backend part of the view. If you go to the App Studio, you see personal detail, verified detail, and insurance detail. You got it right?
Yes.
I mean, any kind of doubt, any sort of doubt, that also we can check. That's not an issue.
Looks good.
Okay. Then, so basically, process is help you to design the UI. You design it using shapes, connectors, and flow action is used to display the UI. Display as in we can include our section which we have prepared, and then it will come. So process, design the UI, flow action, display the UI. These two things you can understand. So fields is done. I think routing and type of approval, we are already in time. But routing I can complete in. Then type of approval we can see tomorrow.
Okay.
So now, if you see currently when I'm creating a case, everything is doing, I mean, is done by me only, right? Whether collect detail, insurance detail, credit check, approval, everything I am only doing. But that is not the correct way, right? Because in the real-time application, we have separate teams for separate work. Suppose this new insurance, this should be done by an end user. Credit check should done by someone else. This verify. And approval
Yeah.
should done by the manager or any other. So how that will work? That will work using the routing. That means we have to route that particular work to the certain person at a certain point. For example, if I click on this personal detail, you see route to current user. That means the current user, it will be routed. And if you see verify detail, it is also set to current user. That's why it keeps on coming on me. But what I can do is I can assign it to a specific user. For example, we have only one individual for the credit check. So I can assign, for example, I have created one ID for you, I guess. Yes. So let's say I've assigned it to you, Francis. Okay. Now, for the approval, let's say I'll keep it with me only. Harsha. I'll save it. Yes. So it is saved, but let's see other options also. We can assign it to a specific user. Specific user is nothing but a work list. That means this case will be routed to their work list. Work queue, as we already understood, it is a pool of tasks which is assigned to a different team members. And any team member who have that access can pick those tasks. And business logic. Suppose if there is any weird business logic that you want to configure, for example, very detailed one, I'll open once. For example, let's say if operator is available or not, if it is on leave, or if your operator is from that particular country or have that particular skill. So those logic based conditions you can give here, and then it will go for routing. For example, suppose if there is a division layer, okay, just an example, okay, and your application is operating in Germany, Finland, okay, Ireland, lot of different countries, Europe, okay. Now, when you create it, you want the routing needs to happen with respect to the language. Suppose if the end user language is German, then the case should be routed to the German user list. If it is Dutch, then it should be routed to the Dutch list. So you can configure that logic here because other two options will not come into the picture, right? Specific user and work queue. So we'll use this one, business logic. At first, you will check the end user language, German. Then you will check the employees which you have who is German. So those things will be done here. I'll make it again specific. Save. But the main objective is to route the task to the right team or to the right individual at a right point. Save and run. Wait, I'll run it from the and not run it from here. Delete. I'll run from end user port. So let's say create insurance. This is coming. I'll fill the data. Submit. So because I selected your name, because I created one operator ID for you. So you see, now it is went. You see, right? Correct? It is not there. This time I'm not getting that form.
Yeah.
But if I try to log in with your ID, let me check if I can do it. Okay. So I'll go to Dev Studio. This is your ID now. I'll launch portal, user portal. And you see, in my work list, one task is there. Insurance task I1007. Right? That means you just need to log in with your ID. In your dashboard itself, you can find the task which is coming to you. Now you can click on go or you can click on this ID, anything. You can open that work object. You see, whatever I submitted in my screen, all those things are coming to you. Correct? Now,
Yeah.
if I will submit this, it will again go back to me because in approval, my ID is there. You won't be able to approve. I'll submit. See, it is done. Get approval is done. Thank you for this. This case has been routed appropriately. Now I'll log off. Launch portal. User portal. I17. This one. High priority. So view all. Go. No, this is not the one because that is in the approval. Let me see. Save and close. What was the ID? Home. If you see this default layout is given to us by Pega. All this notification application, this is designed by Pega. We can just modify if required. Okay, too much loading. There it is, I007, get approval. I can click on go. Yes, this was the detail I passed. Fourth. You see, this cases came to me for the approval. Now I can see this is in pending approval. I can give my notes. You can give like approved and approved. Done. So case is closed. So this is the way the routing will work. I hope you got a picture of how routing works in the business scenarios.
Yeah.
And this type of approval we'll see tomorrow. Any doubt, Francis, till now before we close the call?
No.
You're good?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay, you are able to like learn, right? In this as part of this course.
Yes.
Okay, because definitely I can say one thing because it's a new, right? This is something new which you are learning. So terminologies are new because if I say data model, routing, case type, uh, application, inheritance, these are some new terms. So it might take some time for you to very much, comfortable or habitual. Once you start using these terms in your day to day, like every day, and you start implementing, then it will be on your tips. Then these things are very simple. Okay.
Okay.
All right, man. Thank you so
All
much.
right.